We're going to keep this on financial advice, except we're going to get into things that affect a lot of people right now in their marriages. I think it's 60% of marriages end in divorce, and a lot of people don't know what you do when you go through a situation like this. Let's take a quick look at a funny clip from TV earlier. We pulled this online this week. Let's take a quick look.
Alan J. Harper.
What's the big deal? It's just an alimony check.
An alimony check. This is my final alimony check. Isn't it beautiful?
Oh, right. Judith is getting married this weekend.
Exactly. And you know what that means?
You can finally kick in a few bucks around here?
All right, so as funny as that is, unfortunately, some of these situations can be pretty stressful. So I brought two of the best when it comes on this topic. First and foremost, we have Justin Reckers. You see him on our radio, hear him on our radio show all the time. He's regularly giving advice about not just divorce itself, but what are some of the financial implications? How can you mediate this situation? So let's go ahead and bring Justin Reckers in, and Ilona Antonyan, who is the attorney joining us for the first time. Justin, welcome back to the show.
Pleasure to see you,
so
sir.
Justin, you're not an attorney. You just give the financial advice in a situation like this. Ilona, you are an attorney, so you actually are involved in a lot of these things. So,
Yep,
you know, you actually spotted that clip, which it's kind of funny, but obviously it's a little bit more stressful in real life.
It is, absolutely. You know, we're going to talk a bunch about the concept of alimony today, and I thought the clip was just a great idea to share with everybody the feelings that Americans get when they're about to stop that alimony check, when they don't have to write the check anymore, or obviously on the other side of the equation too, when they're not going to get that check anymore. It's a big life change and everything like that. So I brought Ilona on to kind of share with us the legal perspective of how alimony works, and to discuss from a lawyer's side of things, you know, what is she looking for when she's helping clients through the divorce process.
Yeah, how do you determine alimony? How do we get that set up?
Sure. Well, in California, we don't call it alimony. We call it spousal support. And there's two ways to determine what that's going to be. On temporary basis, when you just file for divorce, the court will use a program to plug in each spouse's income to calculate temporary amount of support. We don't look at the factors that would generally be considered if we're determining what the permanent support amount would be. And in that case, we go under Family Code 4320, determining the earning capacity of each spouse and whether that is enough to maintain the standard of living that was established during the marriage. Some of the factors that the court looks at is the age and health of the parties. The court looks at the marketable skills of each party, whether either of the spouses ended up having to forego certain career opportunities due to the fact they had to raise children or commit their time to domestic duties. The court looks at the domestic violence that occurred during marriage by either of the spouses. Also, we look at tax consequences,
Well, that's already a
He's
lot. I mean, you're like an encyclopedia for this stuff, which is why I think people would want you on their side if they had to go through this, which you're obviously helping clients in that situation. Justin, explain what you do when you're looking at trying to help people. You've called it the forensics of their financials if you're going to go through something like divorce.
Yeah, so you know, one of the things, the way I characterize alimony, or I explain to alimony, or explain to clients what alimony is, or spousal support, as Ilona said in California here, is I kind of explain it as the person receiving, the recipient of the support, is basically being paid for their interest in a partnership that they helped to develop during the course of the marriage. Might be just a career rather than actual business that exists. So that it feels a little bit more like they're being compensated for something they helped to develop, rather than they're just getting a check like that video clip looked like.
Yep.
And it just seems unfair, or whatever.
Right.
So what I do in working with Ilona and other attorneys and my clients as well is look at what are the needs. Needs are a factor for spousal support in California. What does the client need in order to pay their bills? The marital standard of living is usually one of the factors that goes into those needs. I look at what is the income available for support. The person who is going to be the payer of that support, we need to know what their real income is.
Right.
So there's this computer system basically, because all this is formulaic. How you come to the numbers is formulaic, built into a computer program. But if you enter garbage into it, you're going to get garbage out. So the forensic side of things is my team looking at what is this person's real income available to put into that spousal support calculator.
And some of the other things that we do too is if someone is not earning income, and instead of plugging in a zero into computer formula, we can ask for a vocational evaluation, send the non-working spouse to meet with an expert to decide what skills they have and how much they could earn at the minimum if they tried to find work. There's
an article I wanted to pull up here. This is one that I read recently, and it's right up your guys' alley about divorce costs. This is from the New